the biggest challenges are resources, and that can be time, that can be labor, that can be skill level. It can be multiple things, but it ultimately comes back to resources.
I think probably the biggest challenge as a facilities manager is really just keeping up with the pace of change that's going on, you know, just in the business workplace today. You know, there are a lot of pressures because of the current, you know, economy, environment, that sort of thing. But being tied into a solid company, you know, you're still looking forward and you're still trying to strategically develop a path to move forward and continue to grow the business.
Very early on in my career, I realized the benefit of predictive maintenance, and that was in the manufacturing environment, where loss of power, loss of line, loss of product is directly related to the income of the company.
You know, working in healthcare, the emergency power generation systems are common to most or all healthcare facilities, and you know, a power outage doesn't really affect us very much, but what will close the doors is a distribution system failure.
So without proper maintenance and preventive maintenance, the whole premise of your electrical system theoretically is void. You don't know how it's going to operate.
I guess the reason we went with TEGG is because I thought the layout of the program, the record keeping, those types of things were superior to other quotes that I had gotten. I just felt the package was well-rounded.
TEGG Services ensures that you have an electrician looking at the information, assembling the information behind the camera, looking inside the panels. And I also learned at that time there's a lot more you can do besides an infrared scan.
So when we do assessments for customers, our hope is that we go in, we assess, we find problems, we have our problem reports, we sit down and review those with you. We bring our let's call it our pipe and wire capabilities to the front at that point in time, and be able to say, here's our estimates to go and correct things that we found. And ideally, if customers work with us to go and correct those, we add in the documentation to say, here's the before picture, here's the corrected action picture, and you've got the ability from a facility manager's viewpoint to show a complete resolution of here's how healthy the electrical system is, here's how we're taking care of the problems, and we'll see you next year for next year's assessment to ensure that your system is running that way.
I have many examples of how TEGG Services found faults, problems, things that were near failure and in critical condition that we only would have found out had it failed.
The folks from TEGG were extremely professional, very detailed. You know, everything was in place that needed to be in place from my perspective, and you know, I've worked with a lot of vendors over time, and you know, I would just say that you really have really good, solid, professional people that come to you from this organization.
So while it's hard to put an exact dollar figure on it, I can tell you that the owners, the tenants, the service staff, they all highly appreciate the fact that we found something before it failed.
And if I'm a facility manager right now, and it might be a large facility or a small facility, knowing that I can gather any information related to my electrical system at any given time within seconds, versus either A, maybe having to open up a 200, 300 page report, or B, having to either have one of my own internal folks go back and trace that information back, or even have to hire somebody in from the outside that's trained to be able to look for that information for whatever reason I may need it, whether it's to replace parts, to reset a breaker that may have tripped, or to simply just troubleshoot and to visually inspect equipment, you know, over a period of time. Is a tremendous, not only time saver for me, but also gives me all the information that I need to best manage my facility in the most time-effective way.
What people can expect from TEGG is really good record keeping. They can expect the kind of materials to do presentations that will get the programs in place. You know, they have the records that inspectors will respond very positively to, and with the electronic data, the ease of uploading that into CMMS system and being able to work with records that way. So all of those things are major features that make TEGG kind of stand out and be a preferred service.
If your electrical outage is identified in dollars lost, you know, you've got components out there and you've got industries out there where you lose $1 million an hour if you don't have electrical power. You know, well, that adds up pretty quickly if you have a 2-day outage. And it's even worse if you have a 2-day outage that could have been prevented by having the TEGG folks identify a potential problem before it became a problem.